So there is a new Robert Pattinson Batman trailer out, and I don't have to see any Robert Pattinson movies or, go watch anything that Matt Reeves ever done before, because without even seeing anything in the movie, I already know it's going to win every Oscar. It's going to make more than Endgame. It's going to be the best Batman ever. Ah! Hello and welcome to the Tyler G Show, number 14. And let's just get the sponsors out of the way right off the bat. So thank you to Zavi. They have new collection. This is one of their new products, Power Ranger shirt. I'll have a link below with my code so you can save money if you want to buy one. They also have DVDs, artwork, collectible coins, decks of cards, posters, action figures, statues. They have everything. So I'll leave that below. Soap Studios, action figures with soft goods. They're beautiful, well done. I have a bunch of them. The Flash, Reverse Flash, Batman. They're great stuff. Highly recommend. SKILLSHARE, 2 free months of learning literally anything and everything you could possibly dream of. I know I personally used it to get better at photography. It is a great tool in my belt, and I'm offering you 2 free months. It's in a link below, of premium, by the way. And then diorama prints. I love them. They are a new diorama company, and you could get a full diorama for about the same price as an action figure. And usually that's not the case. Usually they're like 50, 100, 200. Custom dioramas are up there like 300, unless you make it yourself, which you still have to buy all the products for and the raw materials to make it. So I think diorama prints is a great new asset to the collecting community in general. So I'll leave a link below to check them out. Okay. I only have notes. I have no script, and I don't even have my computer out. Okay? I'm going to be talking to you free from my head and straight off the cuff, and I only have a list of things I think are pluses and negatives that I viewed from the DC fandom. Okay? So, first thing that was, I think, the best thing is Zack Snyder finally getting his vision fully realized. Okay? He got racked across the coals. He got made fun of. He got memed. People that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads for this guy just because they believed in his artistic vision. They had planes doing skywriting over beaches or over San Diego. They had posters put up on bus stops. And it's because they knew that WB screwed this guy over. Okay? They used his daughter's death as an excuse to get rid of him because they were afraid. They wanted to be more like Marvel, so they brought in Josh Whedon to absolutely F up Justice League. Okay? If anyone says it's the same movie, it's only a few edited scenes, the scene alone of Cyborg's dad sacrificing himself, that was emotional, and that's just a clip in the trailer. That would have added so much depth to that movie, that character, to Cyborg. It gives him an arc. Gives him actual character development. So, I mean, that trailer was so good. It was so money. The music was spot on. And it was also a nice little throwback to Watchmen, which is, I think, Zack Snyder's masterpiece. It was also nice to see Batman looking trim, Ben Affleck, and Superman with no weird thing above his lip. So, I mean, I just feel bad. I don't feel bad for the people that deny that it existed and were on clickbait sites, like just calling people names because they believe in Zack Snyder. Shame on you. Anyway, Arkham Knights, that looks pretty cool. I'm glad that they came out and said it's not a part of the Arkham Asylum series, because as soon as Batman started talking in that tape where, I mean, that's kind of generic. If you're watching this, it means I'm dead. How many times have we seen that? But as soon as I heard that the voice wasn't Kevin Conroy's, I was like, no, I don't want it. But once they describe that it's not going to be trying to connect itself to Arkham, then yeah, who doesn't want to be Batgirl? Who doesn't want to play as Robin? Who doesn't want to be blasting fools as Red Hood? Or be as agile and like a gymnast like Nightwing? It looks like a fun game. And another game that looks fun that is connected to the Arkham universe, and which I think will be fun to see how it is connected, is the Suicide Squad game. And it's about time that those characters get more attention. They're great characters. They're rich. Villains are the in thing right now. I'm learning their motivation, their backstory, what drives them to do what they do. So it'll be fun to explore that sort of thing. and especially get to be the different characters. Okay, the Black Adam news with Shazam, that's cool. I loved the movie Shazam. It was a lighthearted, fun romp of a movie, and I think with The Rock, it'll get a little bit more serious, but I think that's good. Hopefully we get to see a Black Adam versus Superman. Which moves into the negatives. Okay? The negatives, that's the one thing, is we didn't get really any Superman news. It would have been awesome to hear a Man of Steel 2 was in the writing process, or they're thinking about it, or it's in the early stages, we're in talks, something like that. Because now retroactively people are looking like, oh, Man of Steel is a good movie, and many of the fans, there were already many diehard fans of the movie, and you're just not giving the fans what they want, and there's not really much more I could say about it. Everyone loves Henry Cavill. Everyone saw how much he was trending on Twitter and just trending in general when it was rumored that he might not be Superman again. So that's the one thing that really bugged me. No Man of Steel stuff or Superman stuff. And then the big one. The one that everyone is on edge. Either they're with me or they hate me right now, okay? But I really feel passionate about this, and it's something that I notice a lot, and it's something that it's a disturbing trend to me that there's so much brand loyalty to anything. There's brand loyalty to anything. Like, if you could look at Nike shoes, they could be ugly looking shoes, bizarre looking. I guarantee they can make, or like even the Yeezy D Rose shoe that just looks like a weird sliced loaf of bread. Like, because if you're an Adidas fan, you'll say, oh, I love that. Or if you're a Nike's fan, even if it's butt ugly and costs $500, oh, that's so dope, I love it. And that's how I'm feeling people are getting with Batman in general. And it's okay to be optimistic. It's okay to be optimistic and be like, I hope it's a good movie. I hope Batman's a good movie. And I hope people understand that. And for the most part, I'm trying to be a very extreme devil's advocate, just to put that in the back of people's heads. Like, you shouldn't just blindly accept something because there's a Batman logo on it, okay? I first learned that when I watched the old Adam West TV show. And I was like, what the heck is this? And you know what? That's what I talked about in on my story on Instagram. I wrote this long thing that's like, you know what? Adam West was needed because he brought Batman to popular culture. He brought it to the mainstream. And for a while, he was Batman. And then, a lot of the diehard comic fans, after a while, I'm sure at first they're like, oh, cool, Batman's on TV. That's cool and refreshing to see. I'm glad he's getting his due credit. But after a while, you start to see how they write him, and you're like, it's like campy. They're making fun of it. It's jokey. It's not serious like some of the artists that were writing the comics at that time were portraying him in the books. And, eventually that reached a boiling point, and we got Tim Burton's Batman. And he knew he was taking a risk, making it as dark as he was, and just bringing that kind of Batman from the likes of Frank Miller, a more darker tone, to the forefront, to the mainstream. And look what happened. People loved it. And that set the tone for Batman the Animated Series and future Batman projects. Now, Batman the Animated Series delved more into Batman, and it brought something else. So far, each Batman is bringing something to the table. Adam West, bringing it to popular culture. Tim Burton, he made it so that Batman's more like he is in the comics, and people see like this is what he is. Okay, it may not be able to move his neck. Okay, but back then that wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing was a good story, aesthetic, and making sure that Batman seemed like a threat and that he was taken serious. And then we got Batman the Animated Series, heightened everything, made everything better, made Batman a better, deeper character. We got to see a relationship with Alfred. We got to see more of a relationship with Robin. We got to see Commissioner Gordon. And then when we got to see the villains and what drove each villain, like Mr. Freeze, that's still, everyone thinks of that episode when they think of Batman the Animated Series. And it's because it brought something different that no Batman had done before. And even with the Batman movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, we still got to see something we never saw before in Batman. And that is a Batman that was close to the brink of getting a life that he may not have planned for, but something with, getting married, but and that he was happy. And I'm sure, yeah, it'd be better if he had his parents there, but I mean, I'm sure when in that movie, the character is not expecting to fall in love or be happy or even feel happiness again, and he does, and he struggles with, should I not be Batman so I can protect myself and be with this woman that loves me and who I love, and betray my promise to my parents who were murdered in an alley, that I would make sure that no one else felt this way. Like, that's deep stuff. That was a cartoon. Okay? It brought something new. Batman Forever. That even brought something new with Joel Schumacher. We got to see live action Robin. Okay? We never saw that. We got to see a live action Two-Face, which, I mean, we saw Riddler before. We've seen Penguin before in the old 66. We've seen Catwoman before. Joker before. But we got to see Two-Face. That was awesome. And, some people didn't like it, but we still got to see it. And overall, it was more light. It was more like for kids or young kids. And at that point, Batman had never been made specifically for young kids. Okay, Batman and Robin definitely saw nothing like that before, and we'll never talk of it again. Batman Begins. We see a Batman that actually we get to see from where his parents are murdered to how he's training, how he goes about picking up the pieces of his costume, with the arm gauntlets being something that he learned about from the League of Shadows. We got to see Ra's al Ghul. We got to see, his outfit where he's not even fully Batman. He's just wearing a spelunking outfit with a little beanie. And we also, with that Batman Begins, it was something that, it wasn't a comic-y Batman. It was a Batman like, okay, this is as close as we can get to a Batman living in our real world. This is how it would have to work, if it were to work. Everything made sense. Even the memory fabric that turned into a glider, spelunking outfit, all of that. The tumbler, it was something that, it didn't look like classic Batmobile, but it made sense in real life. So again, that was something new to the table. We saw Joker that had been elevated to something we'd never seen before. And it was actually a very formidable villain and wasn't just laughing around. Because even Jack was laughing around, wasn't very physical match for him, or even really a mental match for him. Joker was a freaking genius in The Dark Knight. Batman versus Superman. We see a Batman that has leaped literally from the comics, okay? And we get to see different touches of things from the comics. And it's not like Zack Snyder directly copied from the comics. He paid homages in different ways. But things that comic book fans would be like, I see where he's nodding to. It's not exactly the same in the story, but I appreciate the reference. And I also appreciate he's not just wholesale ripping off someone else's work and calling it his own, because he had the technology and the financial backing to put it on a screen. So each Batman has brought something new, and when I look at this new Batman trailer, I don't see anything new. And I've explained that in my video, that is the latest one before this, that all I see and all I feel like I see are references to other Batman movies. It's like reference the movie so far. And I understand that there's only 2 minutes of footage. I understand that it's 25% done. Okay? And I'm not saying that the Batsuit looks bad. I'm not saying that anything looks bad. I'm just trying to point out, okay, don't fall head over heels in love. Don't just blindly be like, I'm going to love it no matter what, just because it has the Batsuit on it. Look, with a critical mind, observe what's going on. The things that I don't like that, he couldn't, the costume looks exactly like Arkham Asylum video games. The Bat emblem's a little different. But again, the Bat emblem, if it is a gun, isn't even his original idea. It's from a comic book that Kevin Smith did. And the cowl looks cool. That looks semi-original, even though there are touches of Adam West in there. The Batmobile is very Adam West. And then again, the part where people keep saying it's going to be gritty and realistic. Okay, yeah, we got that. That's not something new. Okay, well, that's just something that's expected at this point. The one thing I really liked was the Penguin. I like that he actually looks like a villain and not just some person that's not gonna be easy. You could just push him over and he won't be able to get off his back. So that was cool. Catwoman, I'm really hoping that it looks like she had some dirty panties on her head, and I understand they try to be realistic, but what cat thief is gonna put a beanie on like that and be like, oh, I'm obscured, they can't see me now? That looks ridiculous. And I hope the rumors are true that she's gonna go through a lot of different costumes, because that just looked tacky. It looked like worse than a Phantom film. And then other people are like, oh, it reminds me of this, or reminds me of this. It's like, oh, it reminds me of Seven, or oh, it reminds me of Batman Begins. It's dark and gritty. If I was a director of a movie, I wouldn't want everyone saying that my work reminded them of someone else's work, or that, you know what I mean? Or like, oh, that looks like you did this. You copied that from this. Like, no, that's an original thing, hopefully. But that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just tired of people blindly especially on like social media. And you get why they do it, because they want the clicks and they want the hype and they want the numbers. But it's just sickening to me that they're willing to like just bet the house that no matter what, this movie's going to be good. And the thing that brings me up is because I was in that situation. I've been in that situation before where I have been blinded due to brand loyalty and just out of love for something. Like with the original cut of Justice League, okay? I tried I watched the first time, and I convinced myself that I did like it. And, hey, get out of there. And then once everything, I started noticing stuff, it's like, how did I not see this before? How did I not notice how goofy they made Batman? How did I not just notice how dumb overall the story is and how paper thin it is? And it's that sort of, it just makes me wish that I was more attuned and more observational when I saw it the first time, and not blinded by my love of a character. Because it's not really the character that's doing the movie, it's someone else doing and writing that character, and we have to judge it on that, not, okay, it's Batman, I love it no matter what. I hope the movie's good, because I love Batman, and I run a Batman page, so why would I want Batman stock overall to go down, okay? So please, that's all I ask. Just when you watch things, be aware of what you're watching, whether that be things regarding politics, whether it's stuff on the news, anything. You need to be aware of what's going on around you and do your research. And I don't think that's something bad. I definitely need to do that more than anyone. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of overall as a group, because we're all humans anyway. Humans fail multiple times a day at many things. So, here's to hoping that we get to see more great stuff, and that we get to see original stuff. I'm really one original thing I really liked. I really like Matt Reeves' Riddle, the first one. Like, what do you call a lying dead man? Lying still. So I that's smart, and I hope we get to see more of that. The Riddler, he kind of looked like Hush, and they just had that movie Hush where he actually is the Riddler. So that I'm making a connection there. The gauntlets, of course, you can make a connection. Batman's gauntlets, you can make a connection to maybe he trained with the Court of Owls and didn't know that he was training with the Court of Owls or a Talon. I like Penguin's look a lot. I actually like that he looks tall too. He's not, really tiny, because it gives him a physical presence. It has a lot of a look and a feel to the Lee Bermejo art, which I don't mind. I love Lee Bermejo. I would say the Batman costume itself is a mixture of the Lee Bermejo costume and Arkham video game series. All right, that's all I got. I didn't want to do a full show. I just wanted to do a reaction to DC Fandom. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you don't hate me, although I know there will be some that will. It's okay. People don't have to like everyone. All right, talk to you soon.